Hey, what's up guys, I'm KBHD here, and the next generation of gaming consoles is finally almost upon us. We got the PS5 reveal not too long ago, when we got that event with all the exclusive games and the teasers and the hardware reveal and everything. We saw the two different versions. Everything's very dramatic. Now, I was going to wait. Typically, I wait until I have a device in my hands before I can at least give my first impressions of it, let alone a review. But pretty much nonstop since that event, people have been asking me about it, talking about it, and there's just so much conversation to be had from that reveal. So maybe let's have that conversation. Now, the one main thing Sony did not reveal at that event was the price of the PS5. I have some guesses and there's some rumors floating around, and we'll get to that for sure in this video, but generally, yeah, they didn't reveal the price officially or the release date. Bummer. But there is still a lot to say about what we did see and what did get revealed. Now, I'm a PS4 user myself. Some of you might not know that, but it's actually my first gaming console ever and my current gaming console of choice. So I've been looking forward to PS5 and seeing what it would bring 7 years later. I've also been keeping my eye on Xbox Series X, but that's a whole separate video. So for PS5, first of all, the design, the controversial design. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do like it. Now, I'm sure you guys will all have your own thoughts in the comments. It seems like people either love it or hate it, kind of like the Cybertruck. But there is a lot to actually think about that goes into the design of a new console. Number one is how big is it? Because it's got to fit underneath a TV or somewhere where the previous box would have fit. And there's no scale here in the announcement, but there's a lot of educated guesses being made based on the size of the disk drive. And those guesses peg it as basically the biggest console ever. It's really tall. So then naturally, question number two is, can it go sideways? And yes, officially it can go sideways, and this is the only way it'll fit under my TV. But then just subjectively, I think it kind of looks like a futuristic version of what you might expect a next-gen console to look like from some alien planet or whatever, but they really leaned into this aesthetic, and it trickles down to the controller and the headphones and everything else. I actually think the Xbox Series X looks better. I think it looks more modern and minimal, even though it's more boring, if that makes sense. Though then again, maybe there's been some mock-ups. If Sony made a black version of the PS5, I think it would change a lot more minds to get more people on board, especially because white plastic doesn't have the best reputation for aging well, and people keep their consoles for several years, so that could be interesting to see down the road. I'm sure D-Brand will have a field day with this one though. Okay, so there's two versions, the regular PS5 and then the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition that's just missing the optical drive. I thought it was kind of funny that so many people were caught off guard by there being these two different versions, but it actually makes perfect sense for several reasons. First of all, I, and people like me, will be getting the digital-only version. I have a good enough internet connection that I download all my games. I've never bought a physical game, and I don't need the Blu-ray player, so I'll get the digital version, that's fine. But there are definitely people who will buy this console who, one, don't have amazing internet connections and can't download every single game, and so they have a physical games collection. And two, people who literally use this console as their only Blu-ray player. My PS4 is my only Blu-ray player right now. Now, I don't have any Blu-rays and I don't use them, but PS5 is a 4K Blu-ray player, and for a lot of people, that's also pretty useful. So the digital version that I'll be getting, it looks a bit more elegant. It doesn't look like they finished the design and then remembered, oh, right, forgot, we have to put an optical drive on there somewhere. We'll just stick it over to the side here. But then with that missing part, it'll also most definitely be a bit cheaper. Matter of fact, let's just get to the price. Let's just talk about the price for a second. The rumors are all over the place. So the PS3 launched for $599, then the PS4 launched for $399 back in 2013. And so now people are saying with all these new incredible capabilities and all these expectations, Sony didn't announce the price because it's gonna be super expensive, probably like $1,000 or something. But that, I don't know. I don't think so. I think, and there's some rumors of course to back this up and potentially leaks as well, I think, but I think it'll cost $499 for the PS5 and possibly $399 for the digital only edition. something like that. And I don't even think just removing the optical drive has to be $100 difference. It might be something like $499 and $449 for the digital only versus the main PS5. Somewhere like that. Like, just with the history of pricing for these consoles, if Sony wants 100 million people to impulse buy and upgrade from their PS4s, they can't really charge $700, $800 or more for this console. I could see it being in the 500 something ballpark, but anything higher than that seems unlikely. So then again, all of this is TBD. They didn't yet announce that price. The actual tech inside of the PS5 is also, of course, a big upgrade from the 7-year-old PS4, as you'd expect. It's all solid state storage now instead of a hard drive. I think that's the biggest difference. But it's also an AMD 8-core CPU and a 10.28 teraflop variable frequency GPU, and there's 16 gigs of RAM in there. Some people, including some YouTubers, even my friend Austin Evans, are comparing the power of the PS5 to that of a modern day, like straight up tower desktop gaming PC. And I don't quite see it there yet. I think obviously something with a smaller body like that doesn't quite have the thermal envelope. It can't really match the raw power of a gaming PC. But the thing about the games, here's the thing about the games. These games can develop and optimize for every little detail, every maximum of the PS5. Because everyone playing these games has the same PS5. Whereas if you're developing a PC game, for example, optimization's a bit harder. There's so many various different parts and compatibilities. Anywhere from a $200 to a $2,000 tower could be playing your game. That's much harder. So you can expect these new PS5 games to have much better lighting, ray tracing, better textures, and just overall bigger, better maps and more realism. We saw a ton of this in that teaser live stream. I think the games look pretty good for the most part. Not all dramatically like next-gen real or anything mind-blowing to the point where I feel like I need it now. But, you know, they look like next-gen games, better than PS4 games. Honestly, there were only 2 games in that huge teaser trailer event that I really cared about, and they're very different. NBA 2K21 and Gran Turismo 7. So the NBA 2K21 trailer was a bit cringy, if I'm being honest. Like, to me, it's pretty obvious that they're nowhere near done with the game. They didn't show any real gameplay. It was just a teaser of Zion Williamson, potential future face of the NBA, in a really dramatically lit gym, staring down absolutely no one, sweating profusely, and then dunking. And that's pretty much it. Like, when you're playing the gameplay itself, you'll never see all this dramatic lighting and this sweat. But for the teaser, they're like, oh, we got to add as much glistening sweat as possible. But Gran Turismo, I think, looked really good. This looks like a game that's a lot closer to done, first of all. But it looks like a game that's going to take full advantage of the PS5 in a lot of ways. And they showed much more of what looked like, typical gameplay. And this is a game where you want it to be as realistic as possible. So you go all out with lighting and reflections and detail all over the map. And of course, now the SSD and the new hardware can handle all that. PS5 also supports 120 Hz 4K or 8K output. So the future proofing is definitely real here. Now, I don't have 120 Hz or 8K TV at home like most people don't, but Gran Turismo 7 seems like the kind of game that would do great at high refresh rate. I would love to play it at 120 FPS for better reaction times and just a more responsive feel. Looks super good. Also, I just thought of this. Just as a side note, I hope the PS5 is quieter than the PS4. I don't know how many of you guys have a PS4, but if you'll notice, after like half an hour of playing 2K or really anything, the fans are spinning 100%. Like, it sounds like a jet engine about to take off. And obviously with these games taking full advantage of the PS5 again, it's probably pushing it to the limits. I just hope it doesn't have the same acoustic problem as the PS4. But also, just for fun, I looked at another game that wasn't in the trailer, the golf game, PGA 2K21, and it looks nowhere near as good as the ones that were teased. There's some teaser gameplay on their YouTube channel. I'll link it below that like button, but look at the golfer, look at the crowds. I mean, that just, to me, that doesn't scream, wow, next-gen gaming really enabled this to happen. Like, you do have better textures and shading of the grass, and everything's clearly a bit better than last year, but yeah, there's going to be a wide range of games and how they take advantage of all this new hardware. Overall, though, from what's been revealed, I'm excited. I'm excited for better looking, more realistic games generally, and the franchises that I'm used to playing getting better. And also from all the other titles they've committed to, just maybe trying out one or two other games that look really fun, just because I guess we have more time on our hands now. But hey, let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. I know we're kind of stepping out of the usual element here, giving impressions of something before we actually get it. This is probably what Sony wants, but trust me, when we do get it in here, there will be an impressions, there will be a full review. Make sure to subscribe to see that if you haven't already when it comes out. Either way, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.